If you've ever tried learning a foreign language, you've probably seen videos like these.
You don't need to study to learn a new language.
6 weeks. If I can do it, you can definitely do it too.
I will be trying to learn a new language in only 60 days.
And I am a hyper polyglot alpha male giga chad.
YouTube polyglots. As a Balkaner, probably the only advantage to being from this region is that in order to not perish alone in an abandoned parking lot and be devoured by a pack of wild dogs before the age of 3, you will need to develop the ability to converse in multiple languages, such is the case in many other parts of the world plagued by malaria and typhoid. However, nowadays this polylingualism has evolved from being a useful skill used for trade and connecting different cultures and people into a cool kid internet flex on those stupid American casuals who can't even learn Spanish. Aren't I cool, my fellow EU citizens? And like everything else on YouTube, it has been warped into its own YouTube subgenre designed to milk those sweet clicks and dollars from the gullible masses run by none other than YouTube polyglots. As a polyglot myself, also surrounded by other polyglots, I've noticed a very nasty trend where a lot of people on this platform claim more linguistic ability than they truly have as a way to gain clout, fame, fortune, and most importantly, sell their shitty course on how to become fluent in 3 months, which in recent times has really been grinding my gears. Now, before you call me just a hater because learning languages is an objectively good thing and there's nothing wrong with motivating others to do so, let me just say, I'm not here as the language police to stand on the necks of individuals motivating others to broaden their horizons and take the plunge to learn another language and interact with the world in a foreign tongue. All of which are great things. I don't dispute that there definitely are many people out there who can speak multiple languages at an extremely high skill level. However, my cow, my veal, my beef is that many, a ton in fact, of these polyglots are poly-liars. As I mentioned before, a metric shit ton of them are actively misrepresenting their expertise because they want clout attention and are quite often trying to be the linguistics Tate brother and sell you something. Usually a super special program that will polish and pamper your foreskin and have you fluent by next Thursday using the method exploited by the late Qing Dynasty Emperor Bowser in making diplomatic connections with the Koopa Kingdom or some shit. And in the process of doing so, their viewers are likely to gain a completely false process of how it actually works, become discouraged when they aren't fluent in 6 weeks, I know, shocker, and give up. I'm sure by now you've noticed the mega clickbaity titles on your algorithm like "Awkward idiot white guy speaks such perfect Latin to the Pope, it triggers the apocalypse," "Effortlessly speak ancient Greek in 10 minutes a day and I promise there's no work involved whatsoever," "Watch two beautiful people speak 25 languages to each other," and many others. And so many of these are just utter nonsense. As perfectly outlined by Language Jones, who has an actual PhD in linguistics, these language performers' videos tend to follow certain formulas in order to create the illusion of fluency. Remember that all of these tricks will also be utilizing standard YouTuber tricks of trade, like reading off a teleprompter, selective editing, and recording over B-roll. You'll notice that these people normally will stick to learning the basics, but confidently pretend to improvise totally real, intricate conversations with extremely simple sentence structure, with canned, non-specific responses to basic inquiries that follow a set conversational frame in order to control the narrative and conversation to use the words they know. Things like, "Yes, I love the Chinese language. Let's go for a beer. I love French food. Let's have dinner. Suck my dick. We will have fun." Memorizing phrases like this, but in 15 languages, is actually much easier than you'd think. Especially because the average viewer, aka an American, has no idea how languages other than their own, and maybe some Spanish, are supposed to sound. So, while these conversations may seem natural and off the cuff, in no way are they truly random, but rather the ones you'd have to read out in your German textbook's dialogue bar during class. But you know what you never have to read out? Private internet access, baby! You know, using the internet without a VPN is like exchanging risque photos with that cute cashier register from McDonald's, except everyone gets to see your statue of David. Whenever you're out and about the internet, your device is always transmitting a bunch of your information that can be viewed by a bunch of unwanted eyes and ears. And that's where private internet access comes in, where they hide your IP address and protect your internet connection by encrypting your data, making it impossible for unwanted viewers to see. And with private internet access's world-class server infrastructure, your data is invincible. What makes private internet access so great is that they absolutely never record or use your data and protect you on unlimited devices. So you can have your entire family covered. Hell, even your dog. So don't waste any time and go click on my link in the description and grab an 83% discount, making an entire service just $2.03 a month, with 4 months extra for absolutely free. Streaming services also love geolocking content from you based on your country for God knows what reasons. On SoundCloud, for example, almost all of Nirvana's music is unavailable in Serbia, but with one click with private internet access, and I don't even need to tell you about Netflix. Bada bing, bada boom, done. And if you don't like the service, no problem. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support. So again, go to piavpn.com/Europe and protect yourself right now. You'll also see the YouTuber in question completely bulldoze the conversation with sections basically airlifted from basic conversational phrasebooks, where you have a simple acknowledgement of what someone has said to you, and then you ask them a simple question in response. Filler statements of acknowledgement are also frequently utilized to use up time. There's also the trick of claiming advanced knowledge of multiple closely related languages, either to your native tongue or to one you're learning. Knowing, say, Dutch will make accumulating basic canned responses in other Germanic languages much easier, and we all know that the only useful Latin language out there is Romanian, and by learning that, you'll pick up the rest of the Latin languages crazy fast, and can quickly give the illusion of fast fluency. Knowing a single Slavic language is also the cheat code to picking up very basic conversation in other Slavic languages. Then there are these videos, which will be titled something like, "Wow, look at all these people who are absolutely shocked at the foreigners speaking their language so fluently." But what people don't understand is, when you wield a camera, you can edit the footage however you want to present it. Like here, my editor is gonna make me ride a dragon. Often buried in the comments, you'll find native speakers pointing out that those people probably look so confused because their language is being butchered to the point that they likely have no idea what's even being said at all. But no, dude, you don't get it. This man speaks 15 languages. Like, why isn't that cool? Essentially, these polyglots can and do represent themselves as however experienced they want, with almost no oversight, especially when they cultivate their channel to have, say, an American audience that's utterly astounded by the idea of a person teaching themselves multiple languages. By this point, you might be thinking, well, what's the problem? If it inspires people to pick up a new language, good for them. And trust me, I get it, but the problem is when these people market themselves as being some sort of inspiration for others, like, I got fluent in less than 2 months. It isn't inspiring, it's actively harmful, discouraging, unethical, and lacks transparency, and so it messes with people's expectations. Honestly, I really don't see it any different from people who sell like ridiculous weight loss programs based on exaggerated premises and then claiming, well, the real goal is just to encourage people to exercise and eat healthier. Even if the viewers don't buy the programs, they're still gonna see the false advertising and then after a bit of time see that they're nowhere near the advertised level of fluency even when following the instructions exactly. And they'll feel dumb or that there's something wrong with them, be discouraged, and often drop the program if not the language as a whole. The truth is, teaching yourself at home will not attain fluency in 1 month, nor 2 months, probably not even 6 months. There's no ancient secret scroll from Atlantis utilized by ancient aliens you can obtain from Master YouTube Polyglot that will allow you to bypass the fact that you have to be prepared for the process to take up to years of dedicated, consistent study even for so-called easy languages. Now, let me say, barring the inborn advantage to those already living in a multilingual household or society, some people do pick up languages faster than others. Maybe they have more of a knack for memorization, they're more adept at spotting linguistic patterns, or maybe the conceptual ins and outs of grammar just come easier to them. However, when it comes to how fast you learn a language, these talents are overrated. Our brains are hardwired to look for the easy way out, but hard work and consistency is how you achieve fluency. And you have to be prepared to have plenty of occasions where you burst into tears at how frustrating and illogical the grammar concepts are that you're currently trying to rewire your brain into understanding. This is normal. When learning a language, the hard-working student will beat the talented one every single time. But that message doesn't translate into clickbait very well. When you're learning a new language as an adult, essentially everything in the brain associated with language acquisition gets hooked up to jumper cables. The areas of your brain that take care of the production of your speech and how you articulate it, as well as where you comprehend and develop your thoughts and speech, all have to be uprooted and reformatted by force. When you're an adult, this sucks because it involves tons of time and brain power, and it can be a very frustrating and tedious process to rewire our brains to accept and adopt new patterns and routines. Why do you think our grandparents don't even know how to double-click Internet Explorer without our help? It's the same principle. We all know that the younger we are when we acquire language as a system of our personal inner world building, the easier it is. And once you hit around 14, it starts to become harder and take much longer. You also have to practice your language consistently or you'll start to forget it very quickly. Which is another reason I'm extremely doubtful of people claiming to speak 24 languages. At my height of learning German, for example, I was practically conversationally fluent. However, since I haven't watched or read any German media nor spoken to anyone in German for 5 years, most of my knowledge of the language has practically perished. It's also quite annoying when a program presents learning a language in a short amount of time as a child would. This isn't quite how it works because as a child, you do many years of listening before you can even utter one sentence. So it's not as easy as just immersing yourself in a language like a child would, and bada bing bada boom, you're a language prodigy, go have fun with all the Colombian girls in Medellin and try not to get robbed in front of a club. Children still have to listen for many years before they start constructing grammatically correct sentences. So how do you learn a language then? Well, the answer isn't very glamorous. Through motivation and perseverance. You have to memorize and keep at it consistently. The harder you work, generally the faster your results are, but there is no quick and easy solution. Now, some people are going to have it easier than others growing up in a multilingual household, or society is going to make the process easier and faster, or they're gonna learn a language that's more closely related to the one they already speak. And much like teaching a child to swim by dropping them from a helicopter into the open ocean, the fastest way to learn a language is to become utterly immersed in it and surrounded by that language. Ideally by living somewhere you can't escape from it. For everyone else, you gotta buckle up and prepare for the long haul, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to get your money or admiration. Also, another thing to note, even if a polyglot is legit, learning a lot of languages takes quite a lot of time. Most of us have bills to pay, families to feed, 9-to-5 jobs not to go insane at. The people who genuinely do speak a lot of languages have that time to devote to learning, be it because of their job, lack thereof, or just being super into the hobby. And as I mentioned before, even after you learn a language, you still need to maintain it as not to lose it, which also takes time out of your day. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger forgot a lot of his German, his mother tongue, because he hasn't used it that much since coming to America. So you, as a normal person with all these chores and responsibilities, are taking your time learning a language. Don't feel bad about your progress or the number of languages you know. Other stuff in your life has greater priorities, and that's okay. And there you have it, folks. My whole rant over trivial internet things that will eventually be irrelevant as the eternal void consumes us all and everything we've ever known and loved. Anyways, let me know what you think. Anything I missed or you wanna add? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thank you to all the members that support me, especially these wonderful people. If you wish to do so as well, become a member like them or go and buy some of my merch like my shirts or board game at theironicshop.com. My name is Janos and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
Hey, why are you leaving?